guys, what up? A here from DAF Studios, and this is just a pretty good gameplay. Starting up from the beginning, but it's not going to show the whole thing, and I do fast forward through most of it. But as you can see, I don't have a capture card right now. I do have a capture card, but it is broken. So if any of you guys have your own opinion about what capture card to use, can you please tell me? Just post in the comments below. So, in a little while, I'm gonna describe the main part. This is the beginning of it, with my huge fail right here, but I get him back. And it's gonna start off now, pretty much. So there's 1 humiliation, 2 humiliations, 3 humiliations, 4 humiliations, and then 5 humiliations. Then I get stabbed by some noob in the back. So, well, that's it. See ya. Bye.